Welcome, everybody, to the Success Elevated podcast. As always, I am your host, Hayden Lee, and I am joined this week by two very special guests. We had Jeremy on like a year ago, and I don't feel like that's the real team at Reets Drying Academy. No, I'm just kidding. Got to joke around a little bit about Jeremy.
He would say the same thing.
He would probably say the same thing. Here with Meredith Truitt,
Hi.
who's General Manager at Reets Drying Academy, and Rebekah Beilen.
She did buy the general manager thing.
Give it to me. What's your actual title?
I guess I'm school administrator. That is my official title.
Is that right? I got to check with Rebekah here. Okay, so you don't pull the wool over my eyes. Rebekah Beilen, who I'm an online training advisor. Did I get that one right?
Yes.
Did she lie to me too?
No, she's.
That's about right.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you both for coming on.
I do like general manager better though. I like that one.
Well, we did
We
throw out
don't.
some other
We
ones
sell
like
more.
garbage manager, queen manager.
Yeah, queen manager works.
Okay, that one works. Deal. Not the garbage. We're gonna get into that though.
Queen princess. That's how we usually.
Oh, yeah.
She's
love
younger,
this.
so
The
she gets the
subject.
princess.
Yeah. But I mean, anyways, you guys are awesome. Seriously appreciate you coming on the podcast. I know I kind of had to twist. I mostly had to twist Meredith's arm. Rebekah was like fully on board, but really had to twist your arm a little bit.
Public speaking scares. It scares me. I sound too country.
No, stop it. You sound great.
People like it.
We're going to talk about your background,
Okay.
both of you. So I'll let whoever wants to go first. But let's start a little bit talking about your careers, how you got to Reets Drying Academy. I know you obviously haven't been with them your entire careers.
Mm-hmm.
So Meredith, let's start with you. What did you do before Reets, and how did you get to where you are today?
I've been in sales and customer service, gosh, since I was like maybe 15. So a lot of years. I used to work with in the garbage industry, literally.
Yeah.
I sold
Hence,
roll-offs,
garbage manager.
and compactors and front loads and things like that. And I hated outside sales, and I just kind of hated what I was doing. And I just happened to stumble upon Jeremy, and he was building the online training in the school at the time. And that was like almost 15 years ago. And I mean, I don't think I would ever leave, and I don't think I'm actually employable by anyone else.
Anyone else?
No one would put up with my crap the way Jeremy does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so here we are, 15 years later.
Very cool. Rebekah, what about you?
So I stumbled into this job as well. So the building that we currently are in, I was doing weddings there. So we rented out.
Cool.
Yes. So Jeremy came to me one day and was like, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to take over the building full time. And basically your position's gone. So I was like, oh, okay, well. He's like, well, would you want to work for me? And I was like, I don't know.
Do I?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what water restoration is. So, so it's been 10 years. I started out just like administrative, like basically his personal assistant. And then
Gotcha.
Best
Kinda went-
salesman, best sales admin I have ever worked with by far.
I'm very
That's
good
high
at
praise.
administrative. I'm very good at that. Very organized. But then, a position opened up and went into the sales aspect of it, so
Yeah.
into the online training. That was my first week with Jeremy, as we went to a convention similar to this, and we scoped out LMSs, or learning management systems.
Yeah.
And I had learned all about that. I had no idea what that was. Like weddings, learning management, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we started that, and we built Reets TV into what that was today.
Yeah.
And, traded over to the position I'm currently in.
That's very cool. Well, you both have been with Reets Drying Academy for 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it must be a cool enough place that you've stuck with it for the last decade plus. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, why stick with a place like Reets for as long as you've been there?
I think a lot. We talk a lot about culture, and we always have. And our culture is just it's unique. Like, we are really like a family. Like Jeremy's the dad, and he kind of rules with this. I don't want to say hippie mentality, but it's just, it comes in with his flip flops and t-shirt on, and just, we all respect him, and he gives us, he lays it down like, this is what I want you guys to do and accomplish.
Right.
And, we get in, we start with these big ideas, and, Rebekah kind of brings like, that's not realistic. Let's, and then.
Or bring some structure to the
Yeah,
big idea.
she
Yeah,
does.
They're kind of like over-promisers, under-deliverers. I'm like an under-promiser and over-deliverer.
Over-deliver. Okay.
That's my
Jeremy
goal.
calls her Partly sunny.
Partly sunny.
It's realism.
Yeah. Come
used
on,
to hurt
Jeremy.
our feelings a little bit, but it's such a good thing because we're all like, these big ADHD dreamers, and we're like, oh yeah, let's shoot a rocket off into space. And Rebecca's like, we can't do that.
Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit of yeah.
So, and
I'm with
then
that.
Nick comes in, and Nick kind of just puts everything down, and then we've got David, who's probably, I hope he never sees this, but he is one of the smartest people I've ever met. Like, he knows too much.
Yeah.
So we just all work together as a group, and it works.
Yeah.
Like, our personalities just, where I lack, Rebekah is super strong, and she comes in and picks up, and it's just, we
Vice
all
versa.
work together.
Yeah. I will also say, too, Jeremy has this amazing ability to have us all depend on each other. It's always been like a team mentality. It's never been an individual.
Right.
Like, sometimes we can feel like pressure individually, but we're reminded that it's not on just us. It's like it's a team, and we are all working towards that same goal. So he has a really awesome way of structuring it like that, where we just work really well as a team.
Yeah. Structured like a family. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, everybody's got their part, and
I know you've said that multiple times, but like it really does. Outside looking in, like that's who you guys are. Like very close knit. Like this is, we're gonna accomplish this together. We win together. We learn together, right? Like it's very, very cool. And I think that's what's like, especially when you consider what you guys do and the amount of restorers that you teach and the training that you provide. Like, it's really amazing that it's such a fairly small team, right? Like it's not like you guys have 50 employees.
No.
Like what you guys do and provide is done by a small, tight knit group,
Yep.
and it's really, really cool to watch it happen in real time.
Yeah.
I came out to the event you guys did a couple of years ago and was like just blown away by the amount of things that you're able to accomplish. Again, just small teams, you two, Nick and Jeremy, really. I mean, then obviously some other people there helping.
Which is why we didn't get to do that event this year.
Sometimes small team might not always be the good thing.
Nick and Jeremy, if I say anything about next level, they're like, no.
Well, it was an awesome event.
Yeah.
Other than the storm that knocked the power out of the hotel, other than that, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about restoration. So obviously, like, Reets is a great culture. What you guys do there is awesome. Obviously, providing like training is a huge piece to the restoration world, especially when you consider like certifications and state guidelines and stuff. And so, talk a little bit about like what you guys offer with regards to restoration. What is your main focus? What's the mission of Reets Drying Academy?
Yeah, well, education, profitable education. So, you can do the job, but doing it correctly often results in a more profitable job.
Yeah.
So that's Jeremy's big focus, doing the right job the right way and getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So, we focus a lot on our ISERC, WRT, and ASD combo courses. And it's probably, we probably run more students through that course a year than any other school or franchise, or just because we have so many classes. And David is world renowned. He's really, really an awesome instructor. I've got to say something mean about him. I mean, I have to. He can't hear this.
Yeah, let's think of something. No, I know you're good.
He's a Tennessee fan. And,
okay, yeah,
and that just.
You guys are all Bulldogs fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Go
I
Dogs.
had to confirm. Yeah.
Go Dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm technically from Detroit, so go blue, but I've lived in...
I'm going to walk away now.
I've lived in Georgia so long, I kind of feel like I live there now. Like, that's just my kind of permanent...
You're adopted into the Bulldog family.
Permanent residence, yeah.
The training piece, again, I'm newer to the industry than you two are, but something that I feel like I've learned really well is just I've worked and developed relationships with clients is like the training aspect is so important. And like what you said, the training that actually develops, like, you can track that, like, this better training has made us more money at the end of the day. Like, everybody wants their business to grow. Everybody wants to have more revenue coming in. And that training and good training, quality training, can help accomplish that. And that's why it's so important that, like, you partner with somebody like Reets to make that happen.
And to piggyback off what you said, like continuous training.
Right.
So, like, getting certifications, great. I have a lot of certifications.
We have one more, and we will be triple masters.
Yeah, but
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Our UFT.
You don't technically want me to come dry your house. But the reason why is because, I haven't continued that training. So, I mean, I watch Reeds TV and I do all that. But continuously training and doing the job itself, but that's where, a lot of it comes into play because it allows you to really, build up that knowledge. If you pick up bad habits along the way, you can fix those just by continuously training and doing that weekly. So
I love it. I love that, kind of going back to what you were saying about the family aspect and Jeremy and who he is. Dreaming big is, I think, a big part of, like, building a positive culture. I think you have to have kind of the yin and the yang, talking about Rebekah kind of like reining things in. You have to have the big dreams too, right? Like, I think you have to have both of those things. And I think that's indicative of, like, any successful business as well. Like, not just Reets Drying Academy. It's like, you've got to have, like, some big dreamers, and you've got to have people that can actually get the work done, or build a plan to get that accomplished. And I think that it's cool that is reflective of who you guys are, because you also are teaching companies that are trying to do the same thing. Like, okay, hey, we want to, grow a business, we want to be self-sufficient, but we got to go get some training to help our team go do that, And it's got to be training that's applicable to what they're trying to accomplish. So triple master, going to be triple master.
One more.
We're this close.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So all the certifications, I'm not as knowledgeable in all of that. So so educate me a little bit. What does it mean to be a triple master?
So the triple master starts out is you have to have your WRT for at least 2 years to become a journeyman. And there's quite a few other courses. I think we have a blog on our website that kind of tells you exactly what you need, but ASD is a big part of it. And then the fire, you kind of go into fire and textile, and then carpet cleaning. So we will have all of those certifications wrapped up into one. We will have our cute little gold card. Right now it's silver because we're just master water restorers.
I found out I'm really good at fixing carpet, like color dye. I did color repair class, and I'm really good at matching colors. So, like, I could be profitable in that aspect if I ever want to do that.
Very cool. Love that.
Yeah, we joke that we know just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could fix that.
And then get yourself into a bad situation.
Like, we were having mold issue in my house, and my husband was like, "This is your department.
Yeah.
This
Don't
is
you
not
know
my
this
department."
stuff?
I was like, "It means there's water somewhere. We have to find the water." So it ended up just being a dishwasher issue, but
very, very cool.
But you were on the job.
But I figured it out.
That's great.
So I know you guys don't do necessarily a ton of you're the training advisor. You might not do necessarily a lot of, like, the teaching or the coaching like David or Jeremy does, but you are a education business at the end of the day. What are some key pieces you feel like to make sure that your education is top quality or top notch? Maybe not necessarily in your realm, but, like, if I owned a restoration company and wanted to teach my team, what are some good ways that I can teach better, maybe, or I can elevate that education skill? Any thoughts or tips on something like that?
We have what we have too found has been really great is we created, like, a whole new this year a profitability series. And it's a weekly team meeting which comes with worksheets and different things. So getting people involved. Not just making it like you just need to do this on the side whenever you feel like it. But, like, actually, like, engaging them in their learning, making it, if you're passionate about it, they're going to be passionate about it.
Right.
But I've read so many statistics about, like, just doing that continuing education with them and how much that makes them want to stay with you.
Totally.
Yeah, so the retention of that employee when you actually give them tools to make them better is just, it's huge. It makes a difference.
Well, and people learn better, like, when they do some of the stuff. They're not just being lectured to. Like,
Right.
I wasn't a great college student by any means, but, like, the best professors I had were like, okay, let's do this together, or let me help you do this, or give you some hands-on training. I know you guys offer a lot of hands-on and, like, have a drying house and stuff. Like that stuff is applicable, again, not just to getting certified in restoration, but also, like, in a business training sense. You can lecture people and say, this is how I want it done, but end of the day, you probably got to show them a little bit too.
Right.
Your choice in teacher will make a difference too. You've had good teachers you've remembered your whole life. And I feel like that does set us apart. We have really amazing teachers like Jeremy, Nick, David. They're just amazing instructors. Like the way that they can teach you, and they use illustrations and different things that it just sticks with you long term. So just, choosing the right teacher that really can resonate with you. And that's different for every person, really. But, we found success in, really great teachers.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love that.
And
Any thoughts on that?
David believes in the hands-on aspect, and so does Jeremy. And, they want to make sure that everything, that you actually see what's going on and not just, okay, here's what you do it this way. David lets you kind of go into the flood house and do your own thing, make your mistakes, and then, okay, do you understand why that happened? It kind of follows through the process, and then, all right, well, let's try this, and it's just kind of, people get in to really see, like, okay, if I was on my own in this job, this would have went really, really wrong. So it's always good to kind of just see.
Yeah.
The Success Elevated podcast is brought to you by SOS Navigator. SOS Navigator is an on-demand training platform geared towards marketing, personal development, and business growth. We understand that as a business owner in the service industry, you wear a million hats. Let SOS Navigator be a simple and cost-effective way for you to continue to grow your business. Click the link in the show notes below and use code SOS Podcast to get 10% off your next on-demand training course.
One thing that I've learned, and this is bad, but this is only really since I've been married, is that people, no matter how much you live with someone or communicate to someone, like, people can think very different ways. Like, me and my wife will look at a problem, or, we renovated our home a few years ago, and like, we would talk about something like, okay, this needs to be built, and we would talk about the same thing, but in such different ways, and she would try and explain to me, like,
you're like, we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing, but it would take us 10 minutes to finally get to that point.
Yeah.
But doing it, like, describing it was always the worst. Like, over the phone, like, hey, this happened.
Yeah.
And trying to describe what happened. But, like, being there in person and being like, okay, this is what I need to do.
Right.
Is way easier, kind of going back to your point of, like, the hands-on stuff, than, like theory's great. Like, it's one thing for David or Nick to get up there and be like, this is how you dry something. But then for them to go in and see, because maybe it didn't click in their head when Nick or David said that, but then for them to go in and be like, oh, yeah, now I know what it looks like when drywall's wet or whatever, and now I know how to fix that, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to think about it, but to see it,
Yeah, we've even done that with the videos.
Reets TV is great for that.
So when COVID happened, a lot of stuff went virtual. So Jeremy figured out, I can't show everything just virtually, like through Zoom, you can't really see how to dry water. So that's where they created that whole video series, so that he made it a classroom type setting. It has different people involved in it, and then it takes them, you can actually see the on-site and stuff like that. So it really, like, it reiterates, when you don't have that ability to, like, go specifically, but it gives you the hands-on and actually see what you're doing. Instead of just lecture and information.
And there's a round table in the WRT video, or the water restoration videos, and there's a round table where each person, some of them are really, really new, have no idea what's going on, and so they ask their questions, and their questions, to other people may seem stupid, but that might be a question, that we would have. So and then you just kind of see different points of view of, getting to the same, getting to the, like, going
Same
back to what you're, going back to, all going to the same goal and getting to the same job done. The right way, but just seeing it differently.
Yeah, and then the roundtable, that's a cool thing that I hadn't thought of, that, like, so much of restoration, so many restoration owners are owner-operators. Like, they're smaller companies, there's less than 10 employees, they're still out on the owner of the company still out on a truck. And so for them to, like, try and teach their team, it's really easy for them because maybe they've done it for a decade or whatever.
Right.
But someone brand new that's been on the job for a couple of weeks doesn't have that same knowledge, and so like that round table, having, like, different perspectives of people that have different, like, that's super, super cool.
And as owners and operators, they're awesome at what they do. They're really good at what they do, but it does take a different type of personality to be an instructor and to be a teacher. So I think that has a big thing. A lot of people, just do this, and they think, oh yeah, I'm training them. No, go do this, and it doesn't work that way. Like, it just, you have to have someone who breaks it down. And Jeremy does everything in, step-by-step processes.
Right.
Like, he's huge about processes, and that helps me because I have ADHD really, really bad, and I need everything broken down, like step 1, step 2,
Let me
step
check
3.
this box, then check this box.
I need to, So that's kind of how Jeremy's set up all of our training.
He's also done it for so long, like, even just be in restoration, like, he's still currently actively in restoration. So he's seen how training employees and what it looks like, in-house. It's not just creating training, thinking, But so even with things like our manuals, like, we don't just have a manual of just, like, tons of PowerPoints. It's broken down into, like, it's really awesome and, like, interactive. It has a workbook built into it.
Yeah.
So it's just different. He's
Yeah.
really good at training in the way that he makes it like specific to that person, and it works for like, I mean, a lot of the people in our industry like they work better.
Yeah.
They're not lecture people. When you get a book, an instructor's manual, and it's like, I'm never going to read all that.
Yes,
Like,
7,000
Yeah.
pages. Jeremy was really adamant when we
Yeah.
reorganized and restructured the WRT ASD combo course. And it was, he wanted to, he's like, we don't need a manual that has 900 pages,
No.
that just gives out all of this talk. And just to show off, how much knowledge you have as an instructor, we need something that's applicable and
Teaches.
something.
Yeah.
So our new manuals are awesome. It's everything is step processes, and this is what you should learn, and this is what you should take from this.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Going back to what you were saying about, like, not everybody's a teacher. It's so common, and this just isn't restoration, but it is a common thing in restoration. That, like, people's training is like, go follow Bob around for a week.
Yeah.
Or like, go sit in the truck with Bob, and he'll show you everything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But Bob does this wrong.
right.
And he does it wrong on every single job because he might
Yeah.
have went through his WRT class 20 years ago.
Right.
And
maybe
all
he
of
doesn't know
that's
how to
changed.
calculate, the new calculation for air movers, and he's
Right.
leaving like 10 off each job, and that costs
Yeah.
the company, thousands and thousands of dollars. So now
Yeah.
Bob's trained the new person to leave off tens and thousands of dollars, and
Yeah.
that's where we're trying to bring training back as a group and like
Yeah.
structured, and everyone's getting the same information and doing
have a
the
system with a
same-
checklist. Yeah, like,
and
have
that's
that
where your
stuff.
profitability comes in.
Yeah. Because then it's very easy to follow. Like, okay, did you check all these boxes when you went to dry out this drywall or whatever, right? Like, did you check all these things off? You did? Great. Now you know it's done correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus like, well, I did everything Bob told me, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, well.
Poor Bob.
Poor Bob. Yeah, Bob. I hate calling out Bob.
sorry, Bob.
Every company has a Bob that's like trying to do their best. They're maybe a general manager or the lead technician, and they're trying to train up employees, but they don't know how to train either. That's where something like Reets comes in, because
Right.
here's a system can actually train your team.
Yeah.
So.
We have videos specifically for that. They're called Terrible Technician, and his name's actually Jack.
See, there you
Don't
go.
be Jack.
Don't be Jack. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of. There's a couple things I want to close with, because and I don't want to harass you, Meredith, mostly you, any longer.
Boy.
But I know both of you travel to a lot of trade shows, and with that, I think you both are awesome at building relationships. Like, again, I've only met you and talked to you a couple of times. I know Katie's known both of you for a decade, but you guys are awesome at building relationships and make friends very quickly. What are some things that you do to build relationships? Like, how, I know relationships is a big piece of the restoration world. Like, how do you guys build relationships so fast and so well?
Honestly, I think that's kind of our personality. It's built into, like,
Yeah.
I'm not a salesperson. I'm not I don't have this sales technique that's
Yeah.
just going to close. Like, we
Make
love,
friends.
We love what we do. We love hanging out with everybody. We love making new friends and meeting new people. And I think this is, the best place to do it. And
Yeah.
they give a lot of the shows give so many opportunities to network and just kind of get together, and
Yeah.
we thrive off of that. We love it.
Yeah.
So
That's how we're able to like build them, but then also maintain.
Yeah.
Like you get to meet customers you've never met in person. We do a lot of like phone business, so it's nice
Yeah.
to meet someone face to face and get that actual connection. But it's all about making friends. Like we just
Yeah.
want to have friends, and
Yeah.
those friends will help us, and we'll help them.
yeah, and the bigger your network is, and the network of friends, I mean, the easier things get. Because we can call you and just like, hey, I need, do you
need
know
help
this
with this?
person
Yeah,
or
or-
this
yeah.
person, and
Yep.
so it's just building that network and making friends is
Awesome.
We've done that with the vendors too. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, we've known Katie for 10 plus years. It's just meeting them. We know who the people are you want to go to for
Yeah.
like help with your website, or
Right.
who do you want, help with equipment, or, specifically anything. That's kind of where we've been able to build all those relationships, which helps us.
Yeah, we've been
Big
able
picture.
to become a resource for
Yeah.
people just because I think we know just about everybody.
Yeah, because you know everybody. They can call you and be like, hey, great class last week, but
Yeah.
I need some
Yeah.
equipment, or I
Who
need
do
help.
I use for this?
Yeah.
Or,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think that is, I know it probably doesn't feel like it's a system, but that is a system. Like, you guys go into it very naturally. Like, yes, it is your personalities, and you guys are very friendly and easy to talk to, but like, people can learn from that. Like, go into relationships not necessarily like, I've got to check this sales list off, or here's what I've got to ask them to do. Like, just go into it trying to be friends.
Yeah, people know that they're being sold to.
Yeah.
And most people don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it.
I don't.
It's like, if you want to come talk to me about this, I'll give you the answers. But I'm, as far as like that push hard sales pitch, like I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
Like, you saw how nervous I was to even come on a podcast. You want me to put a sales pitch together? No.
Yeah, it's not very successful. That's where these come into handy. We just get to hang out with people and make friends.
The process is so different than it was 20 years ago. Like, it's just, people do not want to be sold to.
Yeah.
We're just hoping that down the line that they remember, hey, there's this like really cool ladies we hung out with, and they provide training. So if I need training,
I think they do some coaching or some training or something.
Yeah,
we'll call them. Yeah.
And then from there, starts the relationship.
I love it. I love it so much. Well, seriously, thank you both for coming on the podcast. This is an awesome conversation.
It's not as terrible as I thought.
Not as terrifying or as terrible as Meredith thought it was going to be. People want to learn more. They need to get certified. They need to get their IICRC certifications, whatever. How can they find out more from you guys? Where do they need to go to learn about you guys?
Yeah, so they can go right to our website, reetsdryingacademy.com. They can call us directly, 770-712-7293, or just
That was cute.
Or just hit us up on Facebook.
Love it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have some people reach out. You guys are awesome. We love Reets Drying Academy. You guys have awesome training, and we love working with you. So
We love you guys too.
Yeah, we do. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on. We'll have you on again in the future. Maybe,
Yes.
Meredith. Wasn't too
It
terrible.
wasn't too terrible.
Okay.
I
love
liked
it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This has been Success Elevated, making you a little bit better one show at a time. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe on YouTube or any other major podcast platform to listen to more episodes. We are proudly brought to you by Spot On Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about how we can help you grow your business, please check us out at spotonsolutions.com.